Imitation crab and its cousin, imitation lobster, are common substitutes for their pricier counterparts, often appearing in Asian cuisine. But what makes these crustacean replacements so special in the eyes of foodies? It's pretty easy to look at imitation crab and know it's not the real deal. The Spanish architect Antoni Gaudí famously said, "There are no straight lines in nature," and that's exactly how imitation crab is generally packaged, in perfectly straight, uniform sticks. You can find products that package it chopped or flaked as well, but the sticks, reminiscent of a bright red cheese stick, are the most common. That's because imitation crab is a processed combination of meats, starch, seasoning, and water. If any real crab is involved, which is rare, it comes in small quantities. That's not to say imitation crab is not seafood, though. The meat used is generally whitefish, most commonly Alaskan pollock or Pacific whiting. Crab extract is used as the flavoring agent that gives these otherwise very mild fish the recognizable taste that crab lovers crave. It may not be real crab, but at least it usually tastes like it. Much like its crustacean cousin, lobster meat is often imitated. Due to crab's popularity in sushi, imitation lobster tends to take a backseat to imitation crab, even though they're made through the same process. Just like its counterpart, imitation lobster is a product of a fish-based combination. A look at 5 brands of imitation lobster shows that most contain 2% or less real lobster meat, if any at all. Whereas crab is generally formed into sticks, imitation lobster is shaped and colored to match the iconic tail meat that seafood fans recognize. The texture of imitation lobster is also often different from that of imitation crab, with the former being a bit meatier and more stable than the latter's somewhat flaky texture. Of course, the flavoring methods differ to help further distinguish the two. However, despite their differences, imitation crab and imitation lobster are closely related, largely because they're created from the same substance, the fish paste known as surimi. Surimi is a Japanese technique for preserving fish that dates back over 900 years. The process is fairly straightforward. First, the skin and bones are eliminated before the fish meat is finely chopped or pureed. To remove any additional fats or water-soluble items, the mixture is rinsed and then salted. From there, the resulting paste can be formed into a cake or loaf and cooked, usually steamed, or additional ingredients can be added to make the surimi freezer stable. Kamaboko is a Japanese surimi log that is often dyed to incorporate color both on the outside and inside, and is commonly served with noodle dishes. Think of the white and pink swirled pieces in a bowl of ramen. Similar fish cakes are found in the Hawaiian dish saimin, which is a take on ramen. While imitation crab and lobster are variations of surimi, fish cakes are common in many Asian cuisines and can be prepared in several ways. Sourcing issues and sustainability are major roadblocks to obtaining fresh crab and lobster. As the Earth grapples with the effects of global warming, the oceans are heating up fast, and spikes in temperature are having profound effects on the creatures that call it home.
An increase in young crabs back in 2018 led to optimism that fishing would rebound, but the hope was short-lived.
In 2022, the Alaska Department of Fish and Game shut down the Bering Sea's snow crab fisheries. The mass die-off of an estimated 10 billion crabs was the culprit, representing a loss of 90% of the region's population. Things didn't get much better in 2023, forcing a second straight year of closures. Lobster numbers are in a similar decline. Surveys performed by the Atlantic States Marine Fisheries Commission between 2018 and 2022 showed that the population of young lobsters had dropped by nearly 40% off the coast of New England, compared to a 2-year stretch between 2016 and 2018. While lobster fishing has been allowed to continue under major restrictions, the limited catch quantities combined with soaring prices have made imitation crab and lobster even more appealing, as conservationists work to restore decimated undersea populations. While there are positives and negatives related to the environmental impact of imitation crab and lobster, there's no denying that the authentic stuff is healthier. That's not to say the imitations are unhealthy, but they lack a fair bit of the nutrients that come from unprocessed meat. On the whole, surimi suffers nutritionally on 2 fronts. For one, a lot of nutrients are lost when the fish is processed and washed, while beneficial fats are sent down the drain along with waste products. The most glaring difference, however, is in the protein content. Because surimi is a combination of fish meat with other fillers, equal quantities of imitation crab and lobster compared to the real deal contain about half the amount of protein. Added sugars also set imitation products back, though a serving only contains a few grams. In the end, they're not all bad for you, but the imitations can't offer the same nutrients as the authentic items. The major benefit of imitation crab and lobster is their cost. While nearly all fresh seafood is subject to wild price swings based on availability, the prices for imitation meats remain pretty consistent. As of mid-March, according to the Fisherman's Market Seafood Outlet in New Bedford, Massachusetts, the market price for 1 pound of snow crab or hard-shell lobster was $19.99. Compare that to just over $6 for 1 pound of Kroger brand imitation crab and lobster, and it's easy to see why the processed versions are so popular both at home and in sushi restaurants.
The building blocks of sushi. Sushi meat, peaches, and guacamole.
What's up?
What's up?
Most sushi restaurants use imitation crab in their rolls, and popular dishes like crab rangoon and crab salads do the same. Even well-known restaurants have been found to use imitation lobster in their dishes. A 2016 investigation showed that Red Lobster was using imitation lobster meat made out of langostino, a shellfish more closely related to a hermit crab, for its soup. Much like trying to recreate any other highly processed food item, you can certainly do your best at home, but matching the exact texture and flavor of your favorite imitation crab or lobster can be tough. That said, it is possible to create a more standard surimi in the comfort of your own kitchen. There are plenty of recipes available online for both surimi and fish cakes. Recipes call for ingredients such as whitefish, salt, sugar, sake, egg white, and potato starch or corn flour as the binding agent. Everything goes into a food processor, and once the paste is ready, it can be formed into the desired shape and steamed or fried. Of course, it's probably easier and cheaper to buy surimi. While imitation crab and lobster are the most well-known varieties, surimi is also used in everything from fish sticks to frozen crab cakes.